wrestling world is talking, and they're talking about All Elite Wrestling. If you ain't excited for what happened on Saturday night, I don't know what the hell you're doing, man. Double or Nothing backstage news and notes, including Vince McMahon and the McMahon family furious at their own talent for being excited about Double or Nothing. Cody Rhodes, Jon Moxley, and Tony Khan. Everything you need to know following AEW Double or Nothing right here on Off the Scripts. Man, it is good to be back in the office. It's good to be back in this chair, in front of the microphone, in front of the camera. But I do miss Vegas, man. I do miss Vegas. A part of me didn't want to leave, but another part of me said, man, I can't wait to get the fuck back home. Really. I do miss those fucking Fat Tuesday margaritas and pina coladas, man. I gotta say. What I don't miss is spending $14 for a fucking Jack and Coke this size. Fuck you, Vegas. But still, I'd love to go back. And if Double or Nothing is going to be a yearly thing in Las Vegas, I'll be there, man. I love me some Las Vegas. I haven't been there in over 10 years, and I had a damn good time, man. I met everybody I wanted to meet, or rather, I should say, I met everybody in the community that I have not met previously. I'm glad I met them this weekend. Chris Van Vliet, I met Sean Ross Sapp. I'm a big fan of both of those guys. Hung out with Jason the Solomons. They're always a good fucking guy to hang around with, man. He'll be at the House of Glory show, hopefully, on June 8th. Major card coming up with that. Brian Zane invited me out to karaoke. That was always something that I was very hesitant about, karaoke, because I don't have the most angelic singing voice, but Solomonster wished me a lifetime of Baron Corbin and Roman Reigns main events on Monday Night Raw because I forced him to sing Kid Rock, Ba Wita Ba. And by this time I had 3 Jack and Cokes, and I forced him to sing the chorus only while I rapped the verses. This video will never see the light of day, and he said the same thing, and that's the end of that. But he wished me a lifetime of Roman Reigns versus Baron Corbin main events on Monday Night Raw. He wasn't too pleased. And he wore, actually, the best part of the weekend, the best part of the weekend is this shit, man. I got MJF's wig from the press conference, and it stinks. It really does stink. I got his fucking hat, too. I was at the press conference or the weigh-in. It really isn't much of a weigh-in. They had a fucking scale on stage, and the only ones that weighed themselves were Sammy Guevara and Kip Sabian. But they called it a weigh-in, called it a press conference of sorts. It really wasn't anything that it was advertised to be. But it was more of I would say, a fan rally to get everybody hyped up for Double or Nothing. The best part of the weekend was MJF wearing that. He legitimately sat next to me. And I knew who it was when they ushered him through the front row, and he sat right next to me. Now, Solomonster had his guys there in media, and one of his guys was sitting in the chair that was reserved for MJF. They told Solomonster's friend to get up. He went to go stand amongst the media crowd, and they sat MJF right there. He was wearing this ridiculous fucking wig with a brown mustache and that sports cap. And some fucking idiot next to me was filming, and he was taking pictures on Instagram before anything really went down. And MJF, I swear to God, man, he's fucking hilarious. He sat there and he was legitimately cursing at the guy next to me, saying, dude, put your fucking phone away, how fucking dare. He was legitimately fucking yelling at the guy. I don't know if he was in character or he was legitimately pissed off, but I'm a guy who respects the business, so I wasn't even going to go on my phone and start fucking Instagramming MJF sitting next to me before the actual angle went down at the press conference. And it went down. The security guards came over during the press conference, live on Fight TV, ripped the fucking mask off, or the wig and the mustache and the hat, and he was yelling at the security guard, and then they carried him away. But in between all that, while they were setting up and media was there and they were getting the stage ready, he called me poor. And it's always great to be called poor by MJF. Fucking fantastic. He's going to be someone that a lot of people are going to be talking about, man. 23 years old. I urge you guys to go watch his interview with Chris Van Vliet. It was one of the most entertaining things I've seen all Double or Nothing weekend. It wasn't even an interview. It was just MJF pretty much hijacking the 30 minutes that Chris was sitting down with MJF. It was hilarious. So that was one of the highlights of the weekend. Karaoke with Brian Zane and some of the guys from What Culture and Solid Monster. That was also a good time. So I want to thank Brian Zane for inviting me out. Always good to see him. Class act. I interviewed Private Party, which I hope to have uploaded on the channel tomorrow. Private Party, House of Glory students. They got signed to AEW. I couldn't wait to sit down with them and just kind of get their feeling on literally everything. How the announcement was made and what their reaction was, what they did to celebrate, what Double or Nothing means to them, how they were going to spend their time in Las Vegas. So that interview's probably going to go up. I got that at StarCast, which MJF actually got kicked out of during the interview, so you guys are going to see that as well. He actually dressed up similar to that fucking idiot who attacked Bret Hart at the Hall of Fame. He was wearing one of them dreadlock caps. You know, he pretended to be a Jamaican, MJF, just roaming through the fucking StarCast vendor area, and they kicked him out. He was screaming during the fucking interview in the background. You'll see it all tomorrow. Really good interview with the guys over at Private Party, man. MJF is just he interjected himself in every situation all weekend, and he had a great showing at Double or Nothing as well. The other highlights of the weekend for me were I was walking through the casino, and I was with Solid Monster, and I bought him a Jack Honey and Coke, and he met his guys over there. And then Sean Ross Sapp walked through the casino, and Jason stopped him to kind of, chit-chat with him for a little bit. And I get our drinks, and I bring the drink over to Jason. And there is Matthew from Botchamania and Hornswoggle. Now, I didn't really notice Hornswoggle until I actually got over to the area, because there was a bunch of people. I go over there, bring Jason his drink, and then there's Hornswoggle. He makes his acquaintances. He shakes my hand. He's like, "Hi, I'm Dylan." I'm like, oh, shit, what's going on, man? Matthew from Botchamania, he was a little toasty, which, is expected in Las Vegas. Everybody was a little toasty. And he buys me a double shot of Jack Honey. He buys all of us, actually, a double shot of Jack Honey. It was me, him, Solid Monster, Hornswoggle. So I did a shot of Jack Honey with Hornswoggle. One of the referees from AEW came over. He took a fucking shot. It was just a good time, man. It was just really a good time. I know I was walking the casino. Sting walked right by me. I'm like, what the fuck? Sting is walking down from the hotel through the hallway. It's like, holy shit. Matt Jackson walked by me during the quiet hours of StarCast on day one. He seen me wearing my AEW hoodie. He's like, what's up, man? And then I joked, it's like he's got to fucking see dollar signs every time someone walks around with an AEW hoodie or a t-shirt, man. Everybody's going crazy. Merchandise was sold out. It was really, really fun. The Taz show was another thing that I attended there, the live edition of the Taz show. I shook Taz's hand, and he had MJF on the show there, which was classic. If you guys were following me on Instagram, you could see some of the shit that MJF did to some of the stagehands during the live Taz show. It was a great weekend, man. And then Double or Nothing, I physically watched the show from the hotel room, and I did the review immediately after the show was over. After that, I went to the Double or Nothing after party, which was kind of lame. A lot of people walked in and then spent like 15 minutes there and then walked out. It was honestly a fucking sausage fest, number one. Number two, the line for alcohol was ridiculous. You spent 45 minutes in line for an overpriced drink, and then you had SCU on stage with the LA Guns, the musical act of the evening, and it was nothing but a fucking sausage fest. You had some of the fucking talent walk on through. I know for a fact the talent didn't want to be there. I think they were really told that they had to be there. Show face for a little bit, take a fucking picture or two with some of the fans, and then you could get the hell out of there. So the talent didn't even want to be there. I was asking myself where the fucking real after party was. So I left after about a half an hour. It was just me wandering back and forth, waiting to see if anybody I knew was there. Some of you guys actually came up to me who are listeners of the podcast. Ken, if you're listening to me, good meeting you, bro. Elliot, again, thank you so much, brother. I met a few of you guys out there. So you guys were definitely highlights of my weekend. I really appreciate it. But it was a great time in Las Vegas, man. I can't wait to go back. I know I was talking to Brian Ghoulish on the way. He asked me how long I'm staying, and I'm like, I'll be there for 2 days. He's like, that's it. 2 or 3 days max. Get the fuck out of there. After that, it's just overkill. So I really wish I could go and not have to worry about work, because there's just so much that I want to do. I had dinner at the Mesa Grill because I love Bobby Flay Mesa Grill. They got these fucking... They got these pork tenderloin, man. These Mexican-inspired pork tenderloin with this fucking brown sauce that they got on. Oh, my God. I don't even know what the fuck they put on it or in it. I'm not even a fan of pork. Really. I'm a fan of pork, but I'm not big into pork. But these things, man, holy shit. Don't even taste like pork. Unbelievable. I had like, what did I have for appetizer? It was like a mushroom, mozzarella, fucking cheese orgy of something. It was like a fucking quesadilla. You know, I don't know what it was. It was on the menu. It sounded good. It ended up being fantastic. I had a Manhattan for dinner. So I went to Mesa Grill, Bobby Flay's Mesa Grill. I had that for dinner the first night. I went to the Black Tap for a gourmet burger and one of their signature just monstrosities, milkshake. They got these fucking milkshakes, man, that are not, I don't even know if it's a fucking milkshake. It's more like a work of art. But I had one of them. I had a fucking pizza burger. Oh, my goodness, man. Yeah, you ever order a pizza burger and it's just dripping with fucking cheese and pasta sauce, and it's a mess. You literally need a knife and a fork to eat this motherfucker. But this was clean. It was easy to eat. I picked it up with my hands, and I'm like, what the fuck, man? This is delicious. And instead of dousing the goddamn burger with pizza sauce, they gave you a nice little side of pizza sauce. And it was mozzarella cheese, and then there were 4 cuts, triangle cuts, of mozzarella sticks on top of this motherfucker. It was delicious, man. Side of fries. I took the fries. I dipped them in the pasta sauce or the pizza sauce. Beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. Had some of my craft beer everywhere I went. Fat Tuesdays. I got a nice margarita and a pina colada. Ango, if you're listening to me, brother, thank you so much for buying me my first round. So it's just a great time out there, man. Really. So I can't wait to go back. I had a damn good time, and those are some of the highlights from my Double or Nothing weekend getaway. And now it's Memorial Day. It's 5:43. I'm recording this before Monday Night Raw, and I'm having cold chills about Monday Night Raw already. Now, I don't know what's happening on the show. I know Brock Lesnar's going to be on the show to announce that he's probably going to cash in against Seth Rollins at the Super Showdown in about a month. Oh, a month, I wish. Everything is just coming at me one after another. I got NXT TakeOver, and then the next week is Super Showdown. So we got back-to-back weekends of major WWE shows. Probably going to cash in against Seth Rollins at the Super Showdown. So that's on Monday Night Raw tonight. Somebody apparently, I'm reading the fight, it's right in front of me. Someone's going to start up something new with Becky Lynch. Who's going to confront the man? Who gives a shit? Seriously, who gives a shit? After Double or Nothing, WWE better be putting on their best fucking show. And I'm terrified because it's Memorial Day. And you know, with these holiday shows, WWE's out to fucking dinner with these shows. They don't give a shit. They'll probably half-ass the motherfucker, and then I'll be on here Monday night shitting all over the show. Oh, JD, why are you so negative, man? So, hopefully we get a good show. But, speaking of good shows, Double or Nothing. Great fucking show. Great fucking show. Oh, JD, it's nothing more than a t-shirt company, man. What? Where are you guys now? Where are you guys now? T-shirt company, right? Man, that fucking t-shirt company put on one hell of a fucking show on Saturday night. Must be the fabric, right? Gotta be the fabric, man. Gotta be that fucking logo. Something powerful about that logo, bro. I don't hear these people now. What's your excuse now? I don't think there is one. And if there is one, it's lame. I'm sure of it. Haven't heard a fucking peep from these cretins on social media about AEW. Oh, it was only the first show. Jericho, 50 years old in the main event. Jon Moxley is still coming to the WWE, man. Love it, man. I fucking love it. So we're going to go over everything backstage that happened at Double or Nothing. I got major news on Jon Moxley, major news on Tony Khan, and when he started negotiating with Jon Moxley, Cody explains what Jon Moxley means to AEW, what his role is going to be in AEW. Superstars from WWE react to AEW Double or Nothing. Vince McMahon, Dave Meltzer said this immediately after the show was over. Vince McMahon has to be furious with his own talent tweeting about Double or Nothing. And could this lead to Renee Young, being that Jon Moxley showed up at Double or Nothing for All Elite Wrestling, could Renee Young be punished? Could Natalya be punished? Because Bret Hart showed up and unveiled the AEW World Heavyweight Championship. Also news on Dustin Rhodes and the classic match he had with his brother Cody at Double or Nothing. And we're getting ready for All Out in Chicago. I'll be there. X-Pac is already getting people excited. I see some clickbait from What Culture. I see some clickbait from CM Punk gonna be in AEW. My baby daughter. Clickbait already. Because All Out was announced during Double or Nothing, and apparently people think that the 4 red stars next to the All Out logo signify that CM Punk is showing up in Chicago. Fucking clickbait out the ass, man. People couldn't wait to talk about, All Out, Chicago, Punk. Listen, if CM Punk comes back to pro wrestling, it is going to be with AEW. Believe me. I am 100% certain that CM Punk is going to be affiliated with AEW in some way. Tony Khan even said it. Tony Khan said, when I set forth with AEW, I made a list of people that I want on my roster. Phil Brooks was at the top of that list. You don't think Tony Khan is going to fucking talk to Phil Brooks and invite him to Jacksonville when his contract is up with the UFC? You don't think that's going to happen? Come on. If AEW's mentality on Saturday night was to fucking take every cheap shot that they could at WWE, whether it was against Bayley, the 24/7 title, Triple H, or any other WWE thing that they wanted to throw under the bus, you don't think Phil Brooks is going to want to be a part of this fucking All Elite Wrestling just excitement? You don't think he's going to want to be a part of All Elite Wrestling and stick it to Vince McMahon? Because this is the best way for Phil Brooks to do that. And I can't wait. We'll talk about that right here on Off the Script, man. A lot to go over today, but I wanted to talk about quickly my thoughts on, Vegas and what I did out there. So thank you guys so much for listening to me. Follow me on social media, man, at JD from NY206, both on Twitter and Instagram. We are close to 7,100 followers on Instagram, so please make sure you guys continue to follow me on the gram. At JD from NY206 on Twitter. I tweeted out after Double or Nothing was over that WWE is in some serious fucking trouble. Jon Moxley is here, and WWE is in some serious fucking trouble. Everybody takes what I say literally to heart. AEW is not putting WWE out of business. I mean, AEW is here with Jon Moxley. After that show on Saturday night, WWE better creatively get their shit together. That's what I mean. Everybody takes everything I say literally. I never once said that AEW is going to put WWE out of business. But if they continue to book shows like they did on Saturday night, moving forward, you better fucking believe WWE is in trouble. Twitter, Instagram, do it. Subscribe. Hit that subscribe button down below. We are pretty much at 110,000 subscribers. Thank you guys so very much. If you're new around here, thank you for hitting that subscribe button and finding me worthy enough to do that. And if you did, please turn on that bell for all notifications. Patreon.com/JD from NY206 if you guys want to support via the Patreon page. JD's Elite, Bonfire.com, still selling strong. Go get yours. Link is down below, Bonfire.com. Make sure you guys go and check out all my other videos. Now, a lot of people were wondering where Part 2 and Part 3 were of Off the Script. Excuse me for wanting to enjoy myself out in Las Vegas, man. I didn't want to be strapped to a hotel room. I'm lucky I got Part 1 up, which did incredibly well. So, Part 1 is live. Part 2, I guess you can consider the Double or Nothing review Part 2. And then whatever else I had left over, I'm just going to do extras this week. So, you guys will get your news. Do not worry. And I'm here to give you guys the AEW Backstage news and notes. But if you checked out any of the videos this weekend, thank you. If not, if you missed them, link is in the top right corner in that annotation. Make sure you guys drop it down. I even got some WWE 2K19 content. Don't know why, but I got bored. So there you go. Go check it out. It is all in the annotation. Drop it down, and you will be taken to those videos if you did miss them. Let's get into the news, man. I want to talk about Jon Moxley. Jon Moxley now with AEW, All Elite Wrestling. The big surprise at the end of the night was Jon fucking Moxley. Kenny Omega and Chris Jericho had a great match. I mentioned this on the review. I do not think it was better than their first match at Wrestle Kingdom. I don't. It was good. It was good for what it was. And I'm going to stick to my guns and say the first match was better. I really wasn't sold on the rematch anyway when they formally announced it. But in the end, it was a great match. It did exactly what it needed to do. Was it worthy of a main event? Absolutely. Kenny Omega wrestled that match with what now is confirmed to be a broken nose. Don't know when it happened. If it was a boot by Jericho or an elbow by Jericho. Omega, regardless of when or where it happened, he wrestled with a broken fucking nose. And the bumps that he took in that match with a broken nose, you got to give the guy some fucking credit, man. So that's a testament to itself that Omega did that and wrestled 75% of that match with blood dripping down his nose due to a broken nose. At the end of the match, and the post-match attack, by the way, which was fucking brutal. Post-match, Jericho gets on the microphone, says that AEW is here because of him. They signed Jericho to a multi-year deal, the richest contract in his entire career. The AEW Championship, the reason why the fans are in the MGM, the reason why they got the TV deal, all because of Chris Jericho. Chris Jericho, in my eyes, will be the new AEW World Heavyweight Champion, whether that happens in Chicago or it happens on the first ever television show for AEW on Tuesday night. Now, I'm going back and forth on when that should really be. Does the world title get defended? Or should I say, does the vacated title be featured? Does it get featured on the All Out show? And Hangman Page and then Chris Jericho fight over the title in Chicago, or you save it for the TV show? Either one is fine. I'm kind of leaning towards the TV show. That's what I'm going with right now. But I'm sure it's going to be in Chicago. Jon Moxley enters the crowd, or enters through the crowd. He enters the ring. He stares down Chris Jericho, gives him dirty deeds. I guess he got his revenge for Mitch the fucking Plant. Then you got the referee. He eats the dirty deeds. And then all of a sudden, Moxley and Omega go at it. And the big brawl that happens to close the show, very reminiscent of Johnny Gargano and Tommaso Ciampa. Dirty deeds on the poker chips, which I loved. I absolutely loved the visual of the poker chips. Just goes back to really simple stage design and really making the All Elite Wrestling Double or Nothing show really stand out. You know, it's a special show. You want the stage to be not generic. And it really made it stand out. It's just a simple, one of those little simple subtleties. It was great. DDT on top of the poker chips, and then Moxley throws Omega off the chips onto the stage, and it's just a complete beatdown, and Moxley goes off the air, just really causing chaos and beating up Kenny Omega. I kind of figured Moxley was going to be in AEW. I kind of figured that he was going to show up in the main event because this is what was going around in the community. There was really no other spot for him to show up. So I'm glad that they did get him. I'm glad that they did feature him the way that I anticipated and expected. And it went beautifully. Now, Moxley, it was reported after the show, he signs a multi-year deal with AEW. Merchandise already out. It was sold the following day on the last day of StarCast. Pretty sure that motherfucker sold out already. I would have got my hands on one, but I was in the air on Sunday morning. Moxley is already proclaiming war on pro wrestling. He already cut his first promo. And he says he finally has a breath of fresh air. He couldn't wait to just breathe clean again. And that's a direct shot at WWE. Meaning that the air that he was breathing was poisonous. And it was not doing him any good. He is here. He's proclaiming war. Even the merchandise is very reminiscent of what he said in the promo, which you can find on All Elite Wrestling's Twitter page. He's proclaiming war. War on who? I don't know, but I'm assuming it has to do something with WWE. Jon Moxley also announced in the middle of June he will be going over to New Japan Pro Wrestling, which is another fucking thing in itself. Could be another beast in itself. He's actually going to be wrestling for New Japan in the middle of June, and he's, I believe, challenging for, I don't know if he's challenging, but I would not be shocked if it ends up being a United States Championship match with Juice Robinson. That's a pretty big fucking deal. Because we all know New Japan wants to be partnered with AEW, and New Japan has been making strides to get their product here in the States. No better way to do that than partnering with AEW. I know they're waiting for that Ring of Honor contract to kind of just say goodbye. And AEW and New Japan, I could see that being New Japan's next partnership. Because you got Jericho working over there whenever the fuck he wants. Omega's going to work there whenever he wants. Moxley has a contract exclusively with AEW, but is able to work exclusively with certain people. He's not going to be wrestling overseas everywhere because he is a big major investment for AEW, but having him show up in New Japan clearly is a sign that there could be a potential partnership between both promotions. But he does sign a multi-year deal with AEW. AEW revealed that Mox's in-ring debut for them will take place at the Fyter Fest in Daytona Beach, Florida on June 29th. His opponent is not named as of yet. AEW confirmed on Saturday that it has officially signed Moxley to a full-time multi-year agreement effective immediately. Moxley, who was twice voted as the most popular wrestler of the year by Pro Wrestling Illustrated, will make his in-ring debut at Fyter Fest June 29th. So there you go. If you guys are going to that event or planning to get tickets, Moxley will be in the ring for AEW. His full-time deal is very interesting and creates even more separation between Moxley, Jonathan Good, and WWE. However, it doesn't seem like he missed his old home with such a creative stranglehold that they had on him, and he was able to break free on Saturday night. Jonathan Good looked more like a superstar than I've ever seen him in the WWE. And that's including his WWE Championship run, which was pretty fucking boring, if you ask me. Had a couple great matches with AJ Styles. I remember that ladder match with AJ Styles and Dean Ambrose, where fucking James Ellsworth got involved and turned, and he cost AJ Styles the match, I believe. That's the way it went down. My memory is terrible with these types of things. But that was a damn good fucking ladder match. I believe that was the TLC pay-per-view that year. But other than that, outside the Shield, Moxley, to me, as Dean Ambrose in WWE, always was a third wheel. He was always a third wheel. If he stayed in WWE, nothing will have changed. Nothing was going to change. He was always going to be a third wheel in WWE, always behind Rollins, always behind Reigns. They were never going to creatively book him the way he wanted. I am so happy for Jonathan Good, and I'm happy he made the decision to go to AEW. The look and the body language of that man on Saturday night was a man who was relieved to finally be out of WWE and be given the chance to break free and make himself his own fucking entity, his own individual. He couldn't do it anymore. Now, I don't know if this is going to burn a bridge, but this is exactly what is needed for Jon Moxley. If Jon Moxley stayed, or Dean Ambrose, whatever the fuck you want to call him, Moxley and AEW, Dean Ambrose, if Dean Ambrose was still a WWE thing, and he signed A 5-year deal with WWE. That's 5 years under the fucking reign, under the handcuff of Vince McMahon. How are you going to grow when they had this guy being injected by fucking doctors on television? This guy was teased to be in an intergender match with Nia Jax. He was jobbing to EC3 and Drew McIntyre on Monday Night Raw. And WWE gave this guy a huge send-off. Two send-offs. Final Shield match on pay-per-view at Fastlane. And then they gave him that big TV special, that network special, with the Shield at the house show that they did. They put this guy out there as a big deal. Meanwhile, he shows up on Saturday night at Double or Nothing, and he's a bigger deal than he ever was. And yes, I know Dean Ambrose made a name in WWE. That doesn't mean he has to fucking die the rest of his career under the thumb of WWE. Everybody made their name in WWE at one time or the other. That doesn't mean you have to fucking stay there. That doesn't mean you owe your allegiance to Vince McMahon. If something is going wrong, you make your fucking money and you get out. Money isn't everything. People are complaining, oh, poor Dean Ambrose. He made all these millions in WWE and still fucking cried. Money ain't everything. Money isn't everything. I don't understand people's logic here. He made his money, but he was creatively unsatisfied. Tony Khan's making all these promises to everybody that's going to be a more sports-orientated theme with AEW. That's an attractive fucking offer for somebody who is creative, like Jon Moxley. Tony Khan paid him what he wanted, and he's going to be creatively satisfied in AEW. That's all these people want. Why didn't they keep Dean Ambrose, WWE? Why didn't Vince McMahon keep Dean Ambrose? It wasn't the money. His best friends are fucking right there with him. His wife is there. This is how important creativity is to these guys. It's a different day and age. Moxley leaving WWE is one of those eye-opening things that WWE, I don't think they will ever latch onto. I don't think they know. Why is everybody upset? Why is everybody dissatisfied? Why is everybody just itching to get out? It's not the fucking money. It's the simple fact that these shows suck. Dean Ambrose hated the fucking hokey bullshit comedy that they had him doing. He wasn't a serious character. He made himself look like more of a star in 15 minutes than he did in the last 4 years in WWE. What the fuck does that say about it? Yet people are complaining, oh, poor crybaby Dean had to leave WWE, all the millions he made. I don't feel sorry. I do. Why are you shitting on a guy who wants to fucking ascend the heights in pro wrestling? He knows what he's worth. He knows what he's capable of. He knows what value he brings to a company. Meanwhile, fucking idiots in the community want him to suppress all that and be happy just to make a good living, monetarily. If you're in this for money and money only, I don't respect you. I'm happy for the fucking guy. He got out. Now he's with AEW. Fuck it. He's going to be creatively satisfied at the end of the day. And that's all you could ask for. That's all these guys want. Yes, let me support Dean Ambrose knowing that he's complacent in his role in WWE. This is a fucking apologist answer. Oh, he's making a great living. So, what are you trying to tell me? It's the fact that you enjoy mediocrity. You're okay with being a mediocre individual. You don't like someone, or you don't have the traits of someone who wants to succeed and get better and move on up. It's like me being a fucking cashier at Walmart, right? You want to work retail the rest of your fucking life, or you want to start a home business? Everybody wants to be promoted. You go from a cashier to a fucking stock boy, to a stock boy, to a supervisor, to a fucking store manager. If you want to stay stuck at a fucking cashier all your life, you ain't going anywhere. That's the mentality of a fucking terrible individual. You are a lazy fucking individual. I fucking hate that. I fucking hate that. I'm happy for Jon Moxley, man. Multi-year deal with AEW. Good. Good. Tony Khan reveals when AEW started negotiations with Jon Moxley. He says this, and I quote, "As soon as he was legal, as soon as he was out of his deal and wanted to talk to people, he came to me, and I was really excited to talk to him, and he was able to talk to me, and he's been great, and I'm really excited that he's a part of our roster." Oh, so Jonathan Good came to him. What about all the people who were claiming that that Prison Break video package was a WWE production? What happened then? Where are you guys now? Meanwhile, it was an AEW production. He went to Tony Khan almost immediately to talk business, and now he's a part of AEW's roster. And he's going to be a face of that promotion, and he's going to be on national television with TNT. It's a great fucking deal if you ask me. As soon as he was legal. Clearly this was in the works. Clearly there is a grace period between, performer and company to where you can start talking about where you're going next and the deals that you want to explore while still under contract. Now, I don't think this happened willingly out of the fucking blue. This didn't happen just randomly. This happened as soon... It either happened the exact day of his fucking contract. Clearly, it happened before. Clearly, it happened before that video package was aired on Twitter. That went viral. So there's got to be some sort of grace period which, he talked to AEW, because if he didn't, then he'd be out of a fucking job. Nobody wants to sit at home. You want to leave somewhere and then immediately show up to work when you can. You don't want to sit at home idle, not making any money. So this was all constructed beautifully. The video package was fucking made as soon as he was a free man. By law, that video package went up. They were filming that motherfucker while he was still working his WWE dates. So this was in the plans, in the cards, for weeks before his video package went live on Twitter. So Moxley is with AEW. And Tony Khan is excited that he's a part of the roster. And I think we all share those same sentiments. We are all excited just as Tony Khan is excited. Now, Cody Rhodes actually explained what Jon Moxley means for AEW, and I went over this on the official review myself. Cody Rhodes says, and I quote, "The one guy I would have wanted was Jon Moxley, and we did sign Jon Moxley to a multi-year deal, a really wonderful deal for All Elite Wrestling, and our presentation as the alternative. So that's the news. And that's the guy that I wanted." What a story, Because on one end, you have this veteran guy in Dean Malenko who left WWE after 10 years to come play ball with us. And then you have Jon Moxley, who was right in the thick of it. I mean, the Shield was the hottest thing. I got to be there when those guys and my brother and my dad, Moxley, took the last bionic elbow from Dusty Rhodes. So people have a connection with him, and he has a connection with the fans. I don't know if you saw this, but when he was in the ring, he was literally unhinging and coming out of whatever shell that was put over him. So I was really happy. I'm not happy that he went after Kenny, but I was really happy. End quote. Now, Cody gave you the political answer to that. What Jon Moxley means for AEW is that Dean Ambrose was a company fucking guy. Dean Ambrose, Jonathan Good was the WWE version of Cal Ripken Jr. I don't know the exact number of games that Cal Ripken played consecutively. It's over 3,000. But every single time that WWE needed somebody to fill in for an injured superstar or to make the road and give the fans a performance, Dean Ambrose wrestled every single time WWE needed him. It was like 200, 300 straight days of just pro wrestling. Every single time that company asked something of him, he did it. He didn't take a day off. I don't remember Dean Ambrose ever taking a day off until he was out for 9 months with that injury. And he came back to support Seth Rollins at SummerSlam last year. What this means for AEW is they got a WWE guy. They got a WWE guy who was creatively unhappy. And he did the right thing. He did what WWE asked. He put everybody over on the way out. Not a fucking peep from this guy. He didn't go to social media. He didn't go on Instagram. No cryptic photos. No fucking cryptic memes. No cryptic tweets or Instagram posts. Not a fucking peep. He remained quiet. Smile on his face, came to work. He knew his days were over. He made the decision for himself. I'm done. Whatever you need me to do, I'm done. I'll do it and I'm gone. And they offered him 5 years, God knows how much money, and he walked. He walked. Dean Ambrose is the fucking beacon of light in that company that walked and said no to Vince McMahon's multi-million-dollar offer. A tactic that WWE uses to keep everybody in line, and supposedly it's their way of trying to keep everybody happy. That beacon of light said, money isn't the most important thing to us. I'm going to walk and I'm going to explore my options. I know what I'm worth. I know what I want. I'm going to find it elsewhere. I'll see you guys later. And he stayed true to his fucking guns. Everything that locker room is upset with, Jon Moxley was feeling it, I'm sure, tenfold. Guy walked out. Guy walked out, shows up in AEW. You don't think the fucking perception of Jon Moxley on AEW TV, you don't think the perception of Jon Moxley at Double or Nothing is going to resonate with the rest of the WWE locker room? Who's to say that they're not watching Jon Moxley, who is, I'm sure, very good friends with everybody in that locker room? Who's to say that they're not watching him and thinking, if Jon Moxley did it, why can't I fucking do it? It's safe on the other side. He went out there and tested the waters. He jumped in. He's the first to fucking jump out of the airplane to see what happens. Parachute opened. Come on, guys. It's safe. I am the beacon of light. You're unhappy? I'm here testing the waters for you guys. It's good on this end. Come on over. If you got what they want, if you can provide them something that's going to be a true alternative, follow me. That's what that fucking means. That's how important Jon Moxley is to AEW. Did you guys see? The one picture he tweeted out after the event was over was him and Cody Rhodes giving the middle finger. If I can find it and put it in the video, I will. If I remember. Normally when I post-edit these things, I fucking forget. Double middle finger. I tweeted on Instagram. I screenshotted the picture and I posted it on my Instagram page. And all I said was, a picture is worth 1,000 words. All Elite Wrestling tonight only needed one. Nobody realizes the significance of that picture. Nobody. You're looking at it as if it's not important. You're looking at it as if it's cheesy. You're looking at all the fucking cheap shots that Cody did. Whether they're unnecessary or not, that's your opinion. I don't think they're completely necessary. I think they're targeting the wrong fucking guy. I don't think they should be targeting WWE for one reason or another. But they are drawing the battle lines. That one picture of Moxley and Cody Rhodes giving the middle finger means more than you could possibly know. Not only is that the signal for war, but that is Jon Moxley pretty much telling everybody how he felt on that night with AEW for 15 minutes. He's telling you exactly what he thought. Fuck you. You don't post a picture like that after leaving WWE for 5 years if you're not internally fucking hurt. He's going to show everybody, and the best revenge. You know, you talk about getting a tip. If you're a waiter or a bartender, you talk about getting a tip. Yeah, Moxley's making his money here. He's going to get his creativity. He's going to be the character that he's always wanted to be in WWE, but they didn't allow him to do it. The tip, the extra incentive for Jon Moxley is subtly, well, I guess not in this case subtly, but deep down in his heart, he's going to prove exactly why he thinks he's on the same level, if not better, than Rollins and Reigns. He's going to show Vince McMahon and WWE management, you buried me for 5 years. I was always the third wheel for Roman and Seth. You used me to shield Roman and all the negativity that you creatively gave him, forcefully putting him on the fans. And I was a fucking meat shield for this guy. Now he's his own guy. He's his own entity. He's his own individual. And he's going to break out and repay WWE the best way that you can. Revenge. Same thing with Ty Dillinger. Same thing with Sean Spears. He's going to do the same exact thing. And man, I tell you, man, when someone that hates you sees you succeeding and you continue to succeed and you break boundaries and you're becoming your own man and money's coming in and fucking fame and everything that could possibly go right goes right. And they're still stuck in Gear 1, being childish and fucking all these childish antics and being complacent with their life. Meanwhile, they think so lowly of you. He's a joke. He sucks, right? The best thing to do is remain quiet and succeed. That is the best fucking type of revenge I could ever find. Or I could ever do. Right? I just love proving people wrong. And this is exactly what Moxley's going to do. How could you be against that? We all know. We've seen it in his demeanor. He was defeated in WWE. That wasn't the same guy on Saturday night. That was a guy who left WWE, had a whole fucking month of just pent-up rage. He unleashed that shit in 15 minutes, and he hasn't looked better. Can't wait to see what he does. Cody explaining Jon Moxley and what he means to AEW, that's the political answer. I just told you exactly what Jon Moxley means to WWE. He's the beacon for everybody in that fucking locker room that wants to jump on over. Hey guys, I'm here. It's all good. What Jon Moxley's role with what Jon Moxley's role with AEW will be after Double or Nothing. Now, Meltzer talked about this on Wrestling Observer Live. He basically is going to be on weekly television. Meltzer says he's going to be a weekly television character, so it's not like he's going to be doing a few shows a year for AEW. He is weekly a part of their thing right now and going to be in the mix. They pretty much established to everybody when the show was over in the singles division, it's Cody, Kenny, Jericho, Moxley, Adam Page, and I'm assuming when Pac comes back, it's going to be him as well. And Meltzer did mention Pac. When Pac comes back, he may end up closing that deal. And that's going to be the Big Six on TV. Man, you talk about the SmackDown Six back in the day, right? And you talk about the guys that they got on SmackDown Live now with Ali and Andrade and Daniel Bryan. And, it was AJ Styles, but they got all that fucking top-tier talent on SmackDown Live, right? Aleister Black. That's a damn good slew of talent right there to bolster a 2-hour show. It's amazing. It really is amazing, man. It is so fucking exciting to see right now. And I just don't understand how there are people still in the community that said Double or Nothing was a bad show or it sucked, it was terrible. What the fuck are you watching? What are you watching? A, what are you watching? And B, what do you expect out of a TV show or a wrestling pay-per-view? What the fuck do you want? Maybe you need mental help. There's no way anybody could watch that show. First of all, it wasn't even a perfect show. I know there were flaws with the show. But it's their first fucking show. There was no way they were going to put on a perfect show. Everything like this that starts out day one, there are going to be flaws. You work through them. But that doesn't mean the flaws that there were equaled a bad show. There's no way that show could be a thumbs down show. There's no way. There's no way. I don't know why people are shitting on the show. And the reason why people are shitting on the show is because, for some reason, I just don't get the mentality of these WWE apologists. It's like they live and die and bleed World Wrestling Entertainment. It's like, it's such a bad thing to be negative about WWE, as if they're earning some sort of commission for getting the word out there about WWE, or they're getting some fucking royalty check from WWE for promoting the brand. Or they own stock. They're a majority shareholder like Vince McMahon in the fucking stock. What the fuck is wrong with you? I don't get it. This is a great thing for WWE. What you don't understand, that this is a great thing for not only WWE, but pro wrestling. I don't want WWE to fail. Whoever said that, JD said, he wants WWE to fail. I never said I want the WWE to fail. I always want WWE to do good. You think I want to come on here and be negative? They got the best fucking roster on the planet. What I'm pissed about is the fact that they don't give a shit. Hopefully, what happened on Saturday night resonates and it awakes the sleeping giant. That's all I want. I want to enjoy Monday and Tuesday. I don't want to shit on Monday and Tuesday. So I don't know why people are saying this was a bad show. It just shows you're unintelligent. So WWE superstars, they want AEW to succeed. Of course they want AEW to succeed. Everybody in AEW that nails it. Every pay-per-view that fucking nails it. It's going to be good for the WWE. It's going to be good for the fans. It's going to be good for the business. And it's going to be good for WWE superstars' paychecks. Because the better that AEW does, you think WWE is just going to willingly fucking let these guys go? Even more so now. If AEW is putting on shows like that on a regular basis, and WWE is afraid that people are going to be jumping ship, you think WWE wants to make those shows better than they are now? With their talent? Talent is going to be, if the contracts are coming up, talent is going to be paid fucking 10 times more than what WWE's offering them now because they are afraid of bolstering that roster over there. So it's good for everybody. WWE superstars react to Double or Nothing. There were people like Sasha Banks and Big E and Natalya, Peyton Royce, Carl Anderson tweeting out during Double or Nothing. Peyton Royce sent out a mention of her fiancé, Sean Spears, who made his Casino Royale debut and commented about how good he looked. He looked fantastic. That one, I don't blame Peyton Royce. I mean, they're fucking set to be married. So, God forbid, Peyton Royce is congratulating her fiancé. Bayley also commented saying that she loves pro wrestling, and later she sent out the Moro classic Mamma Mia line to express how she felt about the women's match along with everything else that she just saw up until that point. Carl Anderson sent out the obvious fucking tweet saying, God, I miss those boys. Randy Orton also spent time liking the tweets from Xavier Woods and Matt Hardy where they wished AEW the best of luck. There were rumors that Randy Orton was in discussion or someone reached out from AEW about Randy Orton's contractual status. He's set to make more money, I'm sure. I believe his contract's coming up at the end of the year. Carl Anderson is among the many. Bayley, Peyton Royce, Sasha. Sasha was just blatant with everything. Big E mentioned something about something that was going on in pro wrestling, and he bleeped out whatever he was about to say because he wanted to type in All Elite Wrestling, but he put another word in there to substitute for All Elite Wrestling. If you guys go check his tweets. Now, the McMahon family is reportedly furious with all these tweets. They're furious with the WWE superstars tweeting about Double or Nothing. Meltzer says this, and I quote, "The only thing I can say is that everyone in the McMahon family has to be ungodly furious at all of those people who are tweeting about Double or Nothing because it wasn't like Sasha Banks. It was just Sasha Banks because what she did was like, okay, this is blatant. But you got Carl Anderson, Peyton Royce. I wasn't so overt with Peyton Royce, but it can't be looked upon well. Matt Hardy, to a degree, he can get away with stuff like that, but they can't be happy with their own talent tweeting about the rival show and putting it over." Now, I don't really understand what the issue is here. I genuinely don't understand what the issue is, but I'm not going to be a simpleton and disregard Vince McMahon's feelings. Vince McMahon is a businessman, okay? If I am a CEO of a company and I see my talent or my employees putting over another rival promotion that could be detrimental to my back end, to my revenue, to my stock, to everything that's going on, TV ratings and all that, I get where Vince McMahon is coming from. I really do. But what I don't understand and what I don't really get from Vince McMahon is someone who is keen on the way pro wrestling in 2019 operates. This is not the territories back in the fucking 70s, man. This is not the territories back in that time frame. You know? You're thinking about the wrestling world and comparing it to that, thinking that it's still under that type of mentality. This is 2019. Social media is king. Everybody that has something to say is on social media. Vince McMahon should understand this. Pro wrestling in itself in 2019 is fucking different. Everybody wants pro wrestling to thrive. Everybody wants pro wrestling to be the very best that it can. That means NXT, that means Ring of Honor, that means New Japan, that means AEW, that means WWE. Nobody wants WWE to fucking fail. Nobody wants WWE to suffer. We only want good from WWE. That's why we're so hard on everything. All because Double or Nothing was a great show, that doesn't mean I want WWE to fucking go under. I want whatever happened on Saturday night to light a fire in the McMahons. Will that happen? Probably not. Because of the mentality of the people running the fucking company. How about this scenario? You take a wife and a husband. Husband is not treating the wife with the respect that she wants and with the respect that she needs. Husband treats the wife like a piece of shit. Doesn't do the chores when she asks. Doesn't cook dinner. She's got a long day at work. He doesn't do anything that she would like him to do. The respectful thing is, wife worked 12 hours today. She doesn't want to come home, cook and clean after your fucking messy ass, right? So you have dinner prepared for her. Bed is made, house is clean, glass of wine, dinner's made, you clean the dishes after dinner's over with, you relax and watch a movie. And then you retire for the evening, right? Or if the sex life sucks and you off and go and venture to look at other women, right? She finds you on dating apps. She sees you out in public looking at other women. He takes you out to the bar and you're flirting with other women at the bar, right? And then weeks go by. You find your wife doing the same fucking thing and you find your wife cheating on you. Just take that for example. Well, maybe, right, at the end of the day, instead of yelling at your fucking wife for doing the shit that you were doing to her, how could you go do that? Why would you do that to me? Well, motherfucker, if you didn't treat your wife like a piece of shit, then maybe she wouldn't have to go find dick somewhere else. This is WWE. This is WWE. If you treated the fucking talent with the respect and the dignity and the creative fucking aspect in which they deserve, they wouldn't have to fucking go on social media and tweet out, congratulations to everybody in pro wrestling, or I love pro wrestling. They wouldn't express their frustrations and drop major hints about going to AEW. If you treated everybody from the beginning the way that they should have been fucking treated, none of this would be happening now. Now you're staring at yourself and you're being petty and you want to fucking get on everybody's case because of the fucking failures that you have been doing since the day of All Elite Wrestling being announced in January. Have you gotten better? I don't think you've gotten better. Have you taken them to be a serious threat? Now I'm sure you are. Treat your fucking talent with respect, and then you wouldn't have to be furious about everybody wanting to jump ship or wanting to tweet out. God forbid everybody loves professional wrestling. You ain't the only game in town. There's another player in this fucking game. And all I want is for WWE to look at this and be, now we got to step our shit up. What are you going to do? How is Monday Night Raw going to retaliate tonight? Are they going to put on a fucking terrible show like they always do because it's Memorial Day? Or are they going to come out there and give me an AJ Styles Seth Rollins rematch for the Universal Championship in the main event instead of fucking Baron Corbin? Or instead of Roman Reigns starting the fucking show with Michael Cole yelling, "The big dog"? Give me a fucking break. You have the best talent in the fucking world. Book it the way it should be booked. Treat the talent that you have with respect. I don't get it. All this fucking petty bullshit. Furious with this one, furious with that one. Punishment for this one. Renee Young and Natalya could be punished. If Dave Meltzer has his fucking way, he brought up the fact that Renee could be punished for her husband showing up on All Elite Wrestling. What are they going to do? They can't say anything. They can't touch Renee Young. If they do anything to Natalya, it's possible. But if they do anything to Natalya, people will react bad because it's not like it's the Revival who's actually made it known that they're trying to get out. Natalya didn't do anything. And Natalya, meaning Bret Hart, showed up at the Hall of Fame, two-time Hall of Famer, showed up on AEW to unveil the New World title. They could punish Natalya because Bret Hart showed up for the enemy. So if they try and get back at her, it's because of Bret. And I just think that's going to backfire. I'm not saying they won't do it, but I'm thinking they may. I'm sure there's a part of them that will, and then I don't want to make predictions, but if they are and not reacting, then one would think that if we do this, it would only make it worse because everyone's going to see through it and we're going to look like the bad guys. It's not like Natalya did anything. She didn't tweet. It's not like one of those people who tweeted. End quote. So WWE could potentially punish everybody in this thing. And I think that would be fucking the worst thing that they could do. Again, take a step back, acknowledge what AEW did, and use that, turn it around, and book your show the way it should be booked. It's not that difficult. This is 2019. Social media is a thing. Vince McMahon is not too hip and keen on social media. This isn't the fucking territory days where you're going to swallow up everybody. Okay? This is WWE in 2019. You use social media to get everything you need to get out there. Everybody wants wrestling to fucking succeed and wrestling to thrive. Everybody wants wrestling all over the place. Who the fuck are you now in this game? You ain't the big dog anymore. You took a nice fucking sucker punch from AEW. How you gonna bounce back? That's the one thing I'm looking forward to. You know? You got knocked out by Mike Tyson. How the fuck are you gonna get back up? Well, let me say, WWE's Mike Tyson in this case. Mike Tyson got knocked out in his prime. Right? He got knocked to the mat. How are you gonna get up? You're gonna get up and you're gonna fucking look defeated? Or you're going to come back and start swinging those fucking haymakers like I know you could? Come on. Give me a break. Dustin Rhodes, one of the best parts of the entire night Saturday night. Yeah, and WWE doesn't know anything about AEW. They're not reacting. They don't really consider AEW a thing. Dustin Rhodes says over 30 WWE employees texted him after his match with Cody at Double or Nothing. Really now? During a Q&A at StarCast on the day after Double or Nothing, Dustin Rhodes was asked what he thinks of WWE and what he thinks WWE thinks of AEW. He had quite a revealing response because Rhodes knows that quite a few people watched the pay-per-view. Although Dustin Rhodes is unsure whether WWE's top brass watched All Elite Wrestling's first event. They did. They did. There were plenty of people who texted him and expressed relief that there is an option outside of the WWE prison. Although Dustin Rhodes is unsure, this is what he had to say. And I quote, I think the internal reaction was, wow, there's life outside of prison. I would say about 30 or so of the WWE employees texted me last night telling me, oh my God, awesome, incredible, I love the show. So they watched the show. Everybody watched it, and the people who say they don't watch it might not watch it. Most of them are full of shit. If you're a wrestling fan and are in the wrestling business, I don't know about the boss, but I'm pretty sure you watched. I don't know if Hunter or Vince or Stephanie watched the stuff, but some of the office personnel did, and it makes me feel good knowing that something else was in the spotlight that shows there is life out of WWE, that is shining, and it was magical on Saturday night. So when WWE wants to play coy and be like, they're not competition. They're going to end up like TNA, right? They're scooping all of our talent. I thought they didn't want any war. They're going to end up like TNA, taking all of our leftovers. What, the leftovers that you already deemed before you even gave a shot? Not worthy? Leftovers? Is Ty Dillinger a leftover? You didn't do anything with him. Is Jericho a leftover? Jericho's more popular now than he ever was. Give me a break. Dustin Rhodes, 30 people reaching out to him. Yeah, but WWE is not mindful of AEW. You damn well know Vince McMahon was in Titan Tower on Monday morning, getting wind of everything. Believe me. There's a reason why WWE uploaded to their network the rise and fall of WCW, or some fucking WWE failure documentary on Sunday afternoon. There's a reason why they did that. You go look at WWE's YouTube channel, they uploaded NXT matches all on the WWE YouTube channel. Good ones, too. Why is that? That ain't done by fucking accident. Fuck out of here. Glad for Dustin. That was a great fucking match. And they got the match that they wanted. They got the match that they wanted. And I'm fucking happy for them. Dustin Rhodes said Vince McMahon better watch his ass. He says this, and I quote, I think we told the best story that we possibly could, or I did. I know I did. So I hope it was good for the people who watched. I hope it was good for Cody. I definitely think it was good for AEW. I'm excited about them and what they are doing because they are fixing to take over the world, and Vince better watch his ass. I love it. I love it. I love it. Moving on. X-Pac on CM Punk. He mentioned this during StarCast. He says, and I quote, "It would be hard for Punk to sit this one out. When you get to TNT on board and a weekly show is on the network, I mean, they got rid of wrestling and I didn't want anything to do with it again. Look, if they have a fresh mind mixed with they've got some good experienced people backstage involved with all this, it's the mentality and the new ideas and the new way of thinking. I really hope it works for them. I have a good feeling about it. I honestly think that, and I've said this, I think if CM Punk is going to show up, and I think he's going to show up eventually, I might be going out on a limb saying, and I just think it would be hard for him to sit this one out. I mean, he said, I'm not leaving wrestling and I'm not coming back. This wasn't what was going on. There was no AEW in the picture. There was none of that. End quote. X-Pac, Sean Waltman thinks CM Punk is going to come back. And believe me, Tony Khan has mentioned CM Punk, Phil Brooks by name. If CM Punk's contract is coming up with the UFC, that's the only name out there that would generate any interest. And with the money that they could offer him and everything that comes along with being all elite, the creative freedom, the fact that he knows everybody there, CM Punk coming to All Elite Wrestling is I wouldn't say it's the nail in the fucking coffin. I wouldn't say it's the nail in the coffin because nobody's going to kill WWE. But if CM Punk comes to All Elite Wrestling, on top of the whole Moxley thing, man, you talk about a fucking war between companies, you're going to have a company that is on par, if not do greater than WWE in the ratings. That's how much I believe Phil Brooks is a draw. You bring that man out of fucking retirement after what happened with him in WWE, he is going to bring so many eyes onto that fucking... You're going to see a brand new Punk like you've never seen before. That is it. You want a true alternative? Phil Brooks is the definition of alternative. That's the only thing left that they have to do. Everything else, after Phil Brooks is in place in All Elite Wrestling, which I do believe will happen, if they get Phil Brooks, everything after that is going to be seamless. You already have the Club and the Revival on their way out. Gallows and Anderson are as good as gone in September. The Revival, it may be another year before they leave WWE, but they are on their way. You think the Revival watched this fucking show not salivating at the fucking mouth? Thinking about what they could do with the Lucha Bros and the Best Friends? The Hardys, the fucking Young Bucks? Hardys only got a year left on the WWE. Speaking of the Hardys, they got a year left. They may show up in AEW. Saturday was an eye-opener. Saturday was the beacon of light. Dustin said it. There is life outside of the prison. You don't think people are realizing this? You don't understand how big Moxley was going over there. You do not. It is going to be a fucking AEW effect. I know I mentioned that and that term on here. You don't know the effect that AEW is going to have, man. When pieces are in place, like I do believe they will happen, WWE, this is why I said they're fucked. I said this on social media, over 5,000 likes. WWE is fucked. And I meant that wholeheartedly with Jon Moxley going over there. That is going to snowball into something far greater. You don't think AEW is going to have something planned for that fucking TV show in October? You don't think a yearly event like this is going to offer an even bigger surprise to everybody? I don't know when the man's contract's up. I don't know how he feels about pro wrestling, but you know he got wind of what the fuck is going on. And Phil Brooks may play coy, and Phil Brooks may be, I want to do my thing. I want to be happy. You know deep down that his roots are pro wrestling, and you know deep down that he watched that fucking show with a smile on his fucking face, knowing that if I want to come back after my days of UFC, this is where I'm going to end up. And he is. He's going to end up over there. Mark my words. Cody Rhodes sent out hidden messages to the Revival during Double or Nothing. Now, I didn't pick up on this live when I watched it live, but when Cody Rhodes got out of his limousine with Brandy, he arrived at the Double or Nothing arena, or the MGM Grand Arena for Double or Nothing, and he had a cup of coffee in his hand. Now, I don't know what kind of coffee he was drinking, but he casually took a sip of his beverage, and some fans noticed that, when you go to Starbucks, they usually ask you for your name, and they write it on the side of the cup. On this particular scene, during Double or Nothing, if you guys go back and watch it, he's got a coffee cup, which looks to be the small coffee from Starbucks, and on the cardboard holder that's around the cup, the letters FTR are clearly shown on camera. And that was written on the side of the cup. Some fans attributed that to a hidden message for the Revival. Now, I mentioned that the Revival are going through their own deal in WWE. They are being embarrassed. I don't know how WWE could watch this fucking show on Saturday night and have teams like the Usos and the Revival just doing what they're doing. Usi hot and fucking embarrassing both of these teams. Revival more so than the Usos, but I don't know how WWE's watching this show and not getting on board with tag team wrestling, because I mentioned this on Saturday's review. If there's one thing that we all know after Double or Nothing is that tag team wrestling right now, AEW might have the best tag team division in all of pro wrestling. I don't understand how anybody could watch this from WWE and say, what the fuck are we doing? Well, why can't we do this? Why aren't we getting better? One of the many things after watching Double or Nothing is tag team wrestling is going to be the fucking main event in AEW. So, I don't know what's going on, but I'm pretty sure whatever they offer the Revival, they're going to go back and offer them more money, because they know, after watching that, the Revival are probably fucking getting a hard-on, knowing what they could do with the Lucha Brothers, and the Young Bucks, and the Best Friends, and the Smash Brothers, and everybody else, and Helico and Jack Evans, everybody that's going to be a part of that SCU, everybody that's going to be a part of that tag team division. So, hidden message, possibly, for the Revival there by Cody Rhodes. Speaking of tag teams, Pentagon and Phoenix injured at Double or Nothing. Unbelievable match. My favorite match of the whole night between the Lucha Bros and the Young Bucks. Not only did Pentagon and Phoenix fail to capture the AAA Tag Team Championships, but they walked away with injuries. The brothers were set to appear in Texas the next night at a Lucha Empire show, and that event was canceled because both Phoenix and Pentagon sustained injuries that did not allow them to travel. Hopefully it's not serious, because I know that House of Glory just booked LAX versus the Lucha Bros for their next show in 2 weeks. That is the weekend of the WWE Super Showdown. Now, I don't know the extent of their injuries, but I know Rey Fenix retweeted House of Glory, so I'm assuming that he's okay himself to make the show. Hopefully Pentagon is not feeling too banged up. I spoke to Santana at StarCast, and I mentioned to him, what was going on in the news about his injury, if it was really as serious as people made it out to be. He was there with his brace. He's like, he's cleared. Santana is cleared. He will be at the House of Glory show, and he is very grateful for everybody showing concern and care. And he told me it is very important to just recuperate, and that's exactly what he's doing right now. He's taking it easy, and he's going to come back, and it's going to be better than ever. So thank God for that. And I'm super excited to be calling that match. Can't wait for House of Glory on June 8th with Temperature Rising 2. Finally, guys, I guess you can consider this a part 3, but not really. I went really deep into the AEW shit here today, man. Finally, I want to end with this, and I know I mentioned this, and I'm glad that they're not going to go about doing the WWE model for their pay-per-views. Cody says AEW will not have monthly pay-per-view events. He says this, and I quote, "So I think we'll probably look at Double or Nothing and All Out as tentpole events, meaning big events for the company. There may be another one. We're not going to do pay-per-view every month. I realize it was $50, and to ask people to part with their money like that every month, you got to make sure it's worth it. So we're going to be under the model of not every show, not every pay-per-view. It's going to be 4 or 5 pay-per-views for the year, 4 or 5 hours. Not every show is going to be 4 or 5 hours, but the bigger ones could be up to that. And TV, I kind of indicated with you, it's going to be a 2-hour broadcast, and that's pretty much what he had to say about that. Their next show is on July 13th. I don't know if that will be streamed. I'm assuming it will. Fight for the Fallen, then All Out is at the end of August, on August 31st. But I love that. I love that every show is not going to be 5 hours. I love that they only have 4 or 5 pay-per-views for the year. And one of the things that I was asking myself was, the pay-per-view on Saturday night was almost 5 hours. With the pre-show starting at 7, pay-per-view starting at 8, and it went a good 4 hours and maybe 30 minutes. So it's one of those things where none of us complained. I don't think I heard one complaint about the fact that AEW at Double or Nothing almost be 5 hours. Why was that? Because we were fucking entertained. Entertaining wrestling. What a fucking concept. So, I love this, and I love that Double or Nothing could be a huge show yearly, and the same thing with All Out. I love it. I think it's fucking great. Now, Cody did mention that they are going to be doing something that is not going to be to the deathmatch side of things all the time. You're not going to see the blood and the hardcore aspect of it. He did mention that they're going to be saving that type of stuff for the bigger shows, and he did say that there could be a pay-per-view on the horizon that really focuses on that primarily. So I'm excited about that as well. It could be AEW's version of One Night Only for them. Remember One Night Only, or for, One Night Stand for WWE? I think that would be great. So we'll see what happens with that. But I love the mentality of Cody going into this thing, man. The one thing that really stood out to me when he was doing these post-match interviews or this post-pay-per-view conference with everybody, he mentioned that Jim Ross said, it can't just be a good show. It's got to be better than the last show you did. It's got to be great. It's got to exceed that. And that's his mentality. That's the Triple H mentality. And I love that aspect. If they do another show in Chicago, which they will, August 31st, it's got to be better than what they did in Vegas. It's got to be better than Double or Nothing. I don't want to put my name to something if it's not better than what I did previously. It's exactly what I had as far as mentality goes when I was with my brother playing music. We had 2 albums worth of songs. Every song that we wrote was better than the last. And that was the way we focused on our material. If it's not better than the last, scrap it. And I love that mentality. Cody's got the right direction for all this. Tony Khan was excited. He was congratulating everybody that came through Gorilla. Tony Khan was sitting at Gorilla all show. He timed the show out. He produced the show. Everything went according to plan. And that was the first time he did that. And he timed the show. And he actually, they had allotted to go 5 hours. He ended the show 15 minutes before they needed to. Everything went right. I'm loving what they're doing right now, man. They got a lot of people backstage. They got a lot of people, as far as talent go, that it's very difficult for you not to get excited. And I'm very excited about All Elite Wrestling. And this is something that I hope continues. And I swear to God, man, I don't want WWE to fail. I don't. I want them to look at this, and I want them to take it and get better. That's all I want. Because I love professional wrestling, and I want as much positive to come out of pro wrestling as there could possibly be. I don't want to be negative, but I am justified. I am justified in everything I say about WWE because the bottom line is the shows are fucking awful. And they will continue to be awful if they don't change. They need to change. AEW showed you why WWE needs to change. I'm getting out of here, guys. Thank you so very much for everything. If you enjoyed this video, please hit that thumbs up. I will continue to bring you guys the content this week. There's going to be a lot of content this week. Raw, SmackDown, NXT. I got 2 off-the-script extras planned on top of this one. We got TakeOver on Saturday night. It's going to be a busy week, man, so don't go anywhere. Thank you guys so much for subscribing if you're new around here. If you have not subscribed, please hit that subscribe button and hit that thumbs up down below. I'm getting out of here. I'll see you guys tonight for Monday Night Raw. Well, it's Monday. I will have seen you already on YouTube for Monday Night Raw. But hopefully it's a good show. And if not, the review's going to be on the channel. So you guys can check my thoughts on that. I'm getting out of here, guys. Thank you so very much. Enjoy your Memorial Days, or I hope you have enjoyed your Memorial Day weekend. And I will see you guys for more content right here on the channel. Till then, guys, take care. Thumbs up. And I'll see you later for Raw.